It's a beautiful bacon day, Cookie Crusaders. Today we're going to be using 3 Legendaries, a Super Epic, and T-Knight. We're going with a setup with high attack potential, damage resistance, and if we had the option, we would get cooldown or attack speed higher. Both would be pretty optimal and pretty helpful, but this was the best I could conjure for toppings right now for T-Knight. For Clotted, we are running a high cooldown, high damage resistance focus, and suffering a few of the other substats. With Sea Fairy, we are running cooldown and good damage resistance, and equally about the same for Frost Queen. And then we are running a little bit higher cooldown and damage resistance is a little bit lower for Black Pearl because of the way the skill order lines up. So we're going to have Black Pearl be activating first, then Clotted, then Sea Fairy, then Frost Queen. So that means that anything for refreshed skills should be slowed down for cooling on after, and that gives us a little bit more of a chance to continue through without necessarily worrying about the opponent just too much. So T-Knight, even though traditionally is better with almonds for heavy protection, as you can see the health bar on the enemy team just completely obliterates based on the team setup, and as long as our cooldowns go fast enough, which is why we have the Jelly Watch instead of the Feather, we're able to completely eliminate the team without worrying too much for that exact reason. So as you can see, the damage numbers aren't going to be very high, but that's because the match only took 24 seconds. Clotted being the biggest because of not only pushing the tank back and single-handedly trying to take the tank out, but also the area damage that Clotted provides too. So you've got basically 4 AoE units, all of high-class tier calibers, and your T-Knight pushing through as much as you can. The attack toppings are important on T-Knight because the health and HP of your legendaries, and sometimes even Clotted, depending on how you have them set up, are a lot more squishy in comparison to T-Knight. So in most cases, T-Knight should be the last one surviving anyway, unless they have a team specifically set up to take out front lines. Now, in cases like this, as you can see, T-Knight is our last to survive. However, we were not able to push through enough of their team to take out their main units, so we just really weren't able to win it out. So as you can see, overall damage pretty good on our team, but they did have a double tank scenario, so that was pretty tough. AoE is not particularly great against double tanks unless it's being buffed to the point where the tanks have no health left to survive. So that's why this is, of course, as all teams, going to have its own counters. But any single tank teams, you should be absolutely shredding. Yes, you're going to have some tight ones, similar to like this, where Caramel Arrow might be getting buffed, or Black Pearl might be getting buffed, and the damage is going to be pretty intense. But overall, in most situations, you're going to be doing pretty good. And now, as you can see, even though their Black Pearl is going, we have the insignia on our Black Pearl, which actually gave us the last second advantage there in that battle. It was a tight battle for sure. There's no doubt. And I don't think this team is necessarily going to be like an absolute kingpin in the arena. But you can see in a lot of situations, it's handling itself pretty well. So it's very burst setup. And if you can get some really good toppings on the team, like if you get some great critical toppings, or you get some really powerful attack toppings, or some super powerful cooldown toppings, like you could just really push through the team very well. Now, as you can see, they have Caviar on their side this time, and that was really good against T-Knight because Caviar takes down the defense. T-Knight has a lot of natural defense, so for that reason, they had the advantage in that situation. And Black Pearl and Caviar do really good, like, I don't want to say instant damage, but damage right out the gate. So for that reason, they had a pretty good advantage on their team for that. So we'll take it through one more battle just to show you. This is a double tank, so we'll probably not have good odds in our favor. The only thing that is in our favor is the fact that they have a level 9 scroll versus our level 12, which means our damage output should be higher than theirs. Now, if they still win, that proves that the double tank is going to be just too formidable, even with treasure differences, at least against this team specifically. So do keep that in mind when building this team if you want to. And, of course, my substats are nothing amazing to write home to. Like, yes, they're strong. The overall power of the team is strong, too. Of course, it is. But if it doesn't have enough burst power, enough punch to just shoot through, then you might actually hit situations where you just aren't winning with it. So the 3 legendaries together, it's a rough build because usually their skills are going to be activating roughly at the same time. So optimally, if you can get the right cooldown set up, you can time it to where there is no wasted time between their skills. You're going to need some really great cooldowns, though, to make that happen. Black Pearl will be the easiest, and because of the lineup, you're probably going to want to try and make that happen before Clotted Cream. But yet again, just take it in stride of what makes sense for you and your team and your toppings, and let me know in the comments what you think about the team. We haven't had a super powerful T-Knight team in a long time because of all the new cookies, the magic candies, all the adjustments, the statue. So the T-Knight team themselves are not perfectly suited in every arena situation, but every time I get a chance to run a T-Knight team, I definitely love to. I don't love them as much as I love Summoners. Summoners are still my favorite, but the T-Knight team is a really close second. And this is a hard team to build too, just because it's running everything from Super Epic Plus minus the T-Knight. So you are heavy resource investing if you're trying to build this team up. So that is another potential consideration. And I will say this too. If you look, we don't have any Star Ascensions on our Legendaries or much Star Ascensions on T-Knight or Clotted. So yes, we did beat this team, but if we were Star Ascended as high as some of the other teams that we fought were, maybe we would have been on an equal footing at that point. Might have been a better tango and a dance at that way. Hard to compare completely, but it is a potential chance. Let me know in the comments if you like this team, if it's something that you think you can build, and maybe put it as a defense team if you have nothing else to put. It's still something that people might see if you just hide T-Knight and Clotted and people are like, 3 legendaries in the back? Like, what are they running? Like, it might be too obvious, but it would be interesting nonetheless. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope this video has been helpful to you, and have a wonderful day.